Mayor of Frank County. Welcome to this edition of City Spotlight. This edition, we're going to be all about theater. In the first half, we're going to talk about children's opportunities, and then we're going to talk about adult theater. Stick with us for that. Our green section is going to be about our partnership between the EPA and the City of Des Moines on greening America's capitals. Stick with us. This is going to be a fun time.
Reducing, reusing, and recycling your household goods is an important contribution to our impact on our environment. So I encourage each of you to pitch in the blue bin and recycle more.
Hey Ace, can Bill recycle this? That's right, only glass jars and bottles can go into the recycling bin. The other glass is just trash. I'm pitching in.
Hey Serge, can Bill still recycle this? Fill up your blue bin and help keep service costs down. I'm pitching in.
Hey Cubby Bear, I got aluminum cans, soft drinks, and beverages. Can I recycle these? Let's all recycle, especially aluminum cans. I'm pitching in.
Thanks for pitching in, guys. By recycling your household materials like plastics, paper, metals, and glass, you make our community cleaner, you increase the life of our landfill, and you generate cash. Thanks for pitching in.
Hey, welcome back. If you've driven down Grand Avenue near Central Campus and you've seen some flashing signs day or night, hopefully you have seen Des Moines Onstage. I'm here now with our artistic director from Des Moines Onstage, Bob Philippone. Bob, welcome to City Spotlight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Okay, well, we opened Des Moines Onstage in January of this year, 2012, as primarily a place for different theater groups in the area to rehearse for their plays or do scene work on their plays, and also as a home for our theater, the Children's Theater, to rehearse and do scene work and different activities, class work, drama workshops, stuff like that. So it's been going pretty well. We've had different theater groups in there. We've had Repertory Theater of Iowa is housed in the building, and they do all of their rehearsals there. We have Jay Jagum, who has an artistic director, scenic and lighting design. How'd you guys get started? We started out of the First Unitarian Church, working with the children there, and we just kind of slowly built up since 2008. We've been doing one show a year since 2008, and this is our first full season doing 3 shows this year, and that's what we're going to continue on, a 3-show season from now on.
How does Des Moines Onstage operate? I mean, do you do it with a lot of volunteers or a lot of professionals or sort of a mix? I mean, you know, you're the artistic director, so I'm thinking this is a great opportunity, a great job, and you're, you know, we're proud to have you. But how do you move and grow?
Sure.
And
it's sort of a mix, like you said. One of our goals or missions, if you was not only to give children an opportunity to be on stage, but also to give local artists an opportunity.
Is it all children?
Our actors are all children, except for the show we do with RTI, where we do a mix of their adult actors with our children.
And so when you say children, what age groups do you kind of?
We cover usually, our actors range from 8 to 18. We usually consider once they graduate from high school as moving into the adult realm. But we have had some recent graduates who have worked with us on some shows when we needed an older actor.
So it's sort of like an acting school.
That's kind of what we're trying to model it after. We have after-school classes where kids come right from class. And we're trying to kind of have it be that all kind of, not only acting, but also music and dance. We've had dance classes, voice for musical theater classes.
Bob, do you have any upcoming shows that you're working on right now? Why don't you tell us about those?
Yeah, we're having Next to Normal, a staged reading or singing, if you will, at Des Moines Onstage, February 21st through the 23rd. with the Drake Musical Theater Department. Carla Cash and some of her colleagues there, as well as her students, are going to put on a fairly elaborate staged reading at the building as a benefit for the Des Moines Onstage Children's Theater. And then right on the heels of that, the first 2 weekends in March, we're doing Meet Me in St. Louis at the Des Moines Social Club's Kirkwood Theater with the Repertory Theater of Iowa, where their adults will play our adult roles and our children will all be auditioned for. And we will be having auditions for that coming up here soon, so please check the webpage for that. And those are our 2 current shows, and then finish off the season with 13, which is a Broadway musical, which we're also very excited about.
In a 12-month calendar year, about how many shows will you try to do a year?
We do 3 main stage shows, as we call them, and then we usually work on a couple of one-act shows or original scripts that we have competitions for throughout the year, where we just, you know, kind of put those on for free for friends and family and word of mouth, smaller off-stage shows. We usually do about 2 of those a year. And like I said, about 3 main stage shows and then a couple of classes and workshops throughout the year.
What is this for free, or do people pay, or how do they get involved, number one, and what's the cost?
The classes, we usually have very cheap, if you want to, low-cost classes. We had a 8-week session of classes for an hour each, and it was $40 for the whole 8 weeks.
Wow.
You know, and now, you know, and they can do that. And
So
if
it's like $5 a...
Yeah, exactly. And if they took a second class after that, it was actually $5 off the price. So we just, our main purpose is just basically to cover the costs of the instructors and the materials. And, you know, to be involved with our plays is free. There we do have ticket prices, but, you know, you don't have to pay anything to be a part of the plays.
A lot of times it's about exposure and getting people the opportunity to participate in this, because often anymore in school, you know, it's reading, writing, arithmetic, and math, and sciences, and a few things, but not a lot of arts things.
Exactly.
So here's an opportunity. Do you feel like you're offering that to those students, and how many do you have participate?
We, our main focus, you know, you brought that up, has kind of been that middle school years, since that has been out of the schooling in recent years. And we probably have about 20 children that are sort of regulars to us, but we kind of have a rotating, you know, a few in and out every year. And we're hoping to expand that. Mainly, I just don't think a lot of people know where we are and what we do, and it just kind of always seems like when people kind of stumble upon us, they're
Let's talk
kind of,
about
where
that.
are you?
How do they get contact with your group?
Sure.
Give us a phone number. Do you have a website?
The best way is our website, which is just Des Moines Onstage, all one word, .org. On there, you'll have my email, which is just ad@desmoinesonstage.org. Also has the phone number on the web page. You can go ahead and call that and leave a voicemail there. But the best way, really, to see all of our activities and stuff coming up, auditions, classes, is on the web page. We also have our Facebook page, which you can look at for both the building itself, Des Moines Onstage, and the Des Moines Onstage Children's Theater have separate Facebook pages.
I think it's a great program. 2 questions. First of all, how did you get started? What inspired you to get going with this?
When I was in junior high, I started doing theater, and I really felt like it helped me pretty much since then. Express myself, you know, have more confidence, be more outgoing, seek things that I wanted without being too shy or timid to do it. And I started out at my church and then moved it into school. When I was at our church here, we didn't have a program like that, and I started seeing some children who had some interest in it, and I remembered back to all that offered me, and I wanted to give those children the opportunity to basically have the experience I had in theater. And I don't really feel like doing theater means you're going to grow up and want to be an actor or an actress. I feel like it helps everyone, you know, in their daily lives, you know, whether or not that's what they end up doing or not.
Secondly, with the students that you've worked with, and this is sort of your candor, are you finding people that A, are getting excited and enthused, and you find a lot of talent here in Des Moines?
Absolutely. I'm constantly amazed, you know, of the talent, both the children and the adults. And, you know, we've taken a lot of first-time actors and, you know, no experience, and then what we get them to do by the end of a show, you know, we push them. That's another thing is we don't just want, okay, this is the show, go up there and do it. You know, parents will love it. Don't worry about, you know, your quality. We definitely push them to do quality work and, you know, to give us everything they have. And I've been very happy with the quality of not only the children, but the directors we work with. We pay all of our directors and all of our production people. You know, one of my things is I want local artists to be paid for what they do. You know, I do appreciate volunteer work, but I also want to pay people what they're worth when they work on the shows with us. And we use some Drake theater students as well to give them experience before they graduate.
Where do you usually do the shows?
We perform them at the Des Moines Social Club. Right now they're in the Kirkwood Theater, and they're actually working with us this next season and actually kind of co-producing our productions and helping us to find some sponsorship, because that's kind of been one of our problems, is we haven't been able to really been too successful in getting funding and grants and that sort of thing. So we've basically just been scrounging, you know, to pay for the shows, and, you know, basically just working that way, where we're trying to take some of that pressure off of and get some grant money or some people to sponsor our shows, and the Des Moines Social Club is working to help us with that.
Well, that's fabulous. Viewers, if you have some young people that you think are interested and want to get some exposure, Des Moines Onstage, Bob Philippone, give them a call. Bob, thank you so much for being on our show today. Best of luck. And hey, stick with us. We'll be right back. We're going to be talking about one of our best adult theater opportunities when we get back. Stick with us. Welcome back. I'm here with Becky Schultek, longtime actress, lead actress, and patron of Stage West. Welcome to City Spotlight.
Thank you so much.
Talk to us a little bit about what's going on in Stage West.
Sure. Stage West is a local theater company, and we specialize in what we call kind of contemporary progressive theater. So it's not necessarily the classics. You're not going to see Arthur Miller. You'll see shows from newer playwrights. And a lot of the shows that we do are Midwest or Iowa premieres. So it's the first time that the show has been done in Iowa or in the Midwest.
What's your part in it? What do you do?
Well, as you said, I am a longtime patron. I'm a longtime volunteer. I happen to have the lead in the next show that's coming up, but I have done everything at Stage West, from running lights and sound to working backstage to stage managing to being on stage, working front of house as an usher or house manager. So I've done a lot. I've been involved with them for about 8 years now.
Do you have a lot of people that get involved, and what do they do and how do they get involved?
Sure. We do have a lot of volunteers. We can always use more volunteers, so anyone who's interested in coming down to help us out, that would be great. If you're not that knowledgeable about theater, or you don't want to do any of the kind of technical stuff, we can always use front of house volunteers, and that's ushers passing out playbills to people, or house managers checking the tickets as you come in the door. And if you want to get involved a little bit behind the scenes, then you can do stuff like, as I mentioned earlier, there's running lights, running sound, helping set up and tear down after the shows, helping the actors get dressed backstage during the show, all kinds of things.
You've got some productions coming up.
We do.
Why don't you enlighten us a little bit about your current project?
I will tell you about our upcoming show. It's called Good People, and it's a script by David Lindsay-Abaire. He won a Tony Award for the play Rabbit Hole, which was made into a movie with Nicole Kidman and Aaron Eckhart that came out a couple of years ago. And this is a show, like I said, called Good People. It takes place in South Boston, and Mr. Lindsay-Abaire is actually from South Boston. And so this is a show. My character is a woman named Margie, and she's kind of one of the working poor. She's a single mom. She's got an adult handicapped daughter. She's just been fired from her job at the dollar store, where she makes $9 an hour. And so it's kind of about her struggles. She's got an old flame who has just moved back to town, and he kind of got out of the poor neighborhood. He became a doctor and he's just moved back to town. So she's kind of wondering if he could maybe be her ticket out, her ticket into a better life. It's really funny. David Lindsay Abair has given Margie a couple of really kind of foul-mouthed, wisecracking best friends for support. And so it's not just kind of a class struggle kind of a show. It's really funny.
Is this a family show?
It is not a family show unless you want to explain some new dialogue to your preteens. Let's put it that way.
Okay. What is the pricing for the tickets? How do people get them?
Well, you can get tickets here at the Civic Center box office. You can get them online either by going to the Stage West website, which is stagewestiowa.com. You can go to the Civic Center website, which is civiccenter.org, or you can go to Ticketmaster. So you can get tickets all of those ways online. The tickets are $25 for Wednesday and Thursday night shows, and then $30 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you are a student or a senior citizen, you can get tickets on Sundays for $15, and tickets on Wednesdays are half price. If you come here to the Civic Center box office on a Wednesday, they will sell you any ticket that is still available for half price for the Wednesday show.
Neat.
Yeah.
What can our viewers expect to happen when they come here? And what happens in the play? I mean, sometimes different things.
Sure, absolutely.
Engages the audience.
Absolutely. This is an interesting show because, like I said earlier, it's really funny, and so you will get. I'm learning a lot just about South Boston and kind of the neighborhood there, and I'm learning a new dialect. So you'll hear that.
This current dialect, so anybody that comes here could learn it. So if they go to Boston, it's a.
Yeah, absolutely. You bet. You'll fit right in Southie, as they call it. It's interesting because Southie is really. The neighborhood of South Boston is almost like another character in this show, and we're having to learn a lot about it in rehearsal.
We're going to talk to my son, just moved to Boston. So
really?
Yeah, so
all right. Maybe I should call him and have him just stick the phone out the window so I can listen to people talk on the street. Exactly. But so it's a funny show, but it's also really, it has a message about kind of the class divide between the people who got out of South Boston and the people who are kind of still stuck there. And so you will, I think, go away with a feeling about that, depending on, however you're coming in to look at it. You will come away with I think, a feeling about that. But you'll also laugh and enjoy yourself while you're here. So it's a really good script. He's a very good writer. It's very real dialogue. There's not an inauthentic moment in the show. It all feels very real.
And a little bit of humor going along with
it. Absolutely, yes.
So again, how do our patrons and others that would like to see it, let's tell them again, how do they get information, how do they get tickets, and oh, by the way, if they want to become more involved in Stage West Productions, how do they do it?
So the best way to do that, I would say, is to go to the Stage West website. Everything is there. It's www.stagewestiowa.com. There's information about the monthly play reading series that we do the last Tuesday of every month, and that's free. And there's information on how to get involved with that play reading series, how to get involved as a volunteer for this show, how to audition for upcoming shows, and we're a community theater, so none of our roles are precast. Every role in every show is open for an audition, so if you are interested, look at the website and look at our audition schedule and come on down.
Just to kind of wind it up, how many productions does Stage West generally do a year?
Stage West usually does 5 productions a year, usually 1 or 2 musicals, and then the rest are non-musicals. And then, like I said, they usually do once a year or so. They'll sometimes have a special co-production with Drake as part of the Awana series, and then we do this monthly stage reading at the Unitarian Church down on Bell Avenue the last Tuesday of the month. So there is a lot going on and a lot of chances to get involved.
Becky, thank you so much for being on City Spotlight, and we'll look forward to your future productions. And
thank you so much.
Really, the information that you've given us about how to get involved is really valuable.
All right.
Stick with us. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about the EPA and how we're working to better 6th Avenue right here in Des Moines. Thanks. Welcome back. Hope you found something on our calendar that will excite you and your family. Get involved, get downtown, get around Des Moines for the month of January. For this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about our Greening of America Capitals project going on with EPA. We had Carl Brooks, who was the EPA's regional director here, who had some comments, and we'll get a chance to look at those in a few minutes. But the whole project in this partnership is about looking at our city and using this as an example to make our city to the rest of the state an example of sustainability, resiliency, and how we deal with floodwaters, how we deal with stormwater, how we deal with street trees, and all the things that makes a neighborhood friendlier, more pedestrian friendly, safer, and also attractive to those that live and work in and around the neighborhoods. This project is going to involve narrowing roadways and widening the sidewalks to increase that pedestrian traffic and control the motorists. We're going to have bus stop station improvements all along the way, and it's a project that involves 1 mile of 6th Avenue. So it goes from essentially University Avenue and 235 all the way up to Hickman Avenue, and is going to coordinate with a lot of the programs that we already have going on in the neighborhood. The neighborhood's worked hard. We have part of the neighborhood that's been designated historical. And so we're using the existing fabric and making improvements all up and down the way. We're going to look at street lighting improvements that's going to make it hopefully safer and more welcoming to people that are walking in and around the neighborhood. And then we're also, again, looking at storm control and water control and how we handle that moving forward, and not just getting it in a pipe, but getting it into the infrastructure and all the greenery around. So from bioswales to rain gardens, we're going to look at all the options, and we're going to get the help from EPA to come in and take a look at how we use all the latest ideas and techniques. Let's take a listen to Carl Brooks as he explains the project.
Most of you know the 6th Avenue corridor faces real challenges, economic challenges, architectural challenges. Too many homes and businesses along that corridor have deteriorated. Aging sanitary and water mains have contributed to flooding along the Des Moines River before, and the per capita income along the corridor lags the rest of the cities. What we've noticed in Greening America's capitals is that communities and state capital areas that have chosen to use these packages have almost always spurred more development and more economic activity. They've also engaged neighbors to work collaboratively on redesigning key corridors in their cities. These sustainable communities help bring in investment. They maintain neighborhood pride. That corridor has a strong sense of itself as a neighborhood, and our planners, as well as the city government, is going to tap into that. Based on our experience with Jeff City and with Lincoln, we expect that these projects along the corridor will stabilize businesses, attract new businesses, and definitely improve the sense of the 6th Avenue corridor as a neighborhood that's got a lot of history, a lot of tradition, but also a lot of potential too. We have found in these communities in Nebraska and in Missouri that sustainable development increases the redevelopment of properties, and it helps grow the local tax base and increase unemployment in these neighborhoods. These projects make areas more walkable, more bicycle friendly, more accessible to public transportation, and in each of these other communities, we've seen that this type of change leads to economic development and economic activity. We look forward to working with Des Moines. I very much appreciate the mayor and the city staff applying for this project. We were happy to make the award to Des Moines. It's a very competitive project. A number of cities applied. Des Moines was one of only 5 chosen. We look forward to being partners here with you in Des Moines for some time to come. Mayor Cownie.
On behalf of the city, I'd like to thank Carl Brooks for being here and for EPA for selecting Des Moines in the 3rd round of Greening America's Capitals. We look forward to the partnership and all the benefits that the city and the state hopefully will pull out of this project. That wraps up this edition of City Spotlight, and we hope that you'll stick with us and watch this at the times and days that are on your screen. Until next time, I'm Mayor Frank Cownie, and this is City Spotlight.